met my goal of $100. Mostly it's because of the 2 ETFs that I just dumped $1,000 into. Now, those ETFs are currently paying like 50% return on my investment. So I'll get that $1,000 back at the end of the 2 years. That being said, at $100 a month, I'm making $1,200 a month. I already had my dividends built up from other dividend stocks to about $70, $75. These 2 ETFs really bumped me up. What I plan on doing in the future, I figure, well, I'll go ahead and get started now. So, for example, if it pays, like, looking at this deal here, if it's paying 19.09%, then I would only invest $19. If it's paying 19.66%, it's more than 19.5, so I'd round it up to 20. So I look at the stocks, and I look at the dividend yield. And so whatever the yield is paying, that's how much money I put in. So like I said, 19.5 or more, I throw in $20. 19.5 or less, I throw in $19. If it only pays 1.5%, I'll throw in $2. If it pays under 1.5%, I'll only throw in $1. That being said, ETFs are generally more stable, more secure. So my plan was to throw 0 on that. So if it pays 1%, I'll throw in $10 instead of $1, because an ETF is typically more stable and you want to put more money into ETFs rather than individual stocks. ETFs are basically other people managing the stocks for you. Now, they may or may not be more educated than you, and so that is a tricky one. But if you're uneducated like me, or I should say more uneducated like myself, because I'm a little bit educated, but I'm not up there yet, then ETFs are the way to go, because we don't know, and we don't have time to sit and research these individual stocks. So, but I want to invest in everything. May it be smart, may it not be smart. What I plan on doing is investing in every single company, every single ETF, every single REIT. So my strategy is to just basically invest based on their long-term stability and what the yield is. So like these 2 ETFs that are paying like 50% dividend yield, they're going to give me a bigger, better, greater return on my investment right away, which will give me more money to invest in other stocks and more money to pay off my debt. So right now what I'm doing is trying to pay down my credit cards. My credit cards are 20 and 30%. So I'm investing in anything that pays more dividend yield than the interest rate on my credit card. So I'm investing in stuff that pays basically more than 20%. So this week, or today actually, I put $500, actually $570 to be exact, into Bitcoin ETF. And then I threw another $50, a little less than that, 45-ish, into 2 other stocks that pay more than 20%. And so that basically raised me up above my $100 goal. the Bitcoin ETF really raised me up to the $100 goal. I invested in, hang on, let me move this over here. Now you got to be careful with some of these, like CMCT. They say they're paying 84.91%. They're not. So when you first buy a stock that's got a high dividend yield, the maximum I would throw in is maybe $20. And then wait. If you see a dividend, then you go in and look at the dividend yield, and you say, okay, it's paying 84.91, so I'll throw in $85. And then wait until you see another dividend. As long as they're paying a dividend, keep throwing money in. If they're not paying a dividend, don't put any more money in. If they quit paying dividends, then treat it like a day trade and sell it when the stock goes up. That's basically what I'm doing. You can do whatever you want. I'm not telling you what to do. You know, a lot of times people say, here you give them a suggestion or an idea, your opinion, your point of view, and they think you're telling them what to do. And some people might be telling them what to do. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I do and what I would do, and then letting you make your own decisions. Because I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a guru guy. I'm learning just like you're learning. So, but some of you probably know more than I do. But some of you probably know less. So, I just put in my 2 cents worth, and you could take it or leave it. I don't care. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm putting out there. It's just my 2 cents, my 3 cents with inflation. So BITO and KLIP are both paying over 50%, over 30, over 20. So, and they're both ETFs. Now the KLIP, I have a little bit, I pulled out a little bit too far, but this guy ain't got a trailer, so no big deal. All right, anyways, I'm heading over to my new property. Anyway, I got an extra half a day off, so I'm getting stuff done at home. BITO is Bitcoin ETF. Everybody loves Bitcoin for the most part. The KLIP is a Chinese internet technology ETF. But, they're paying pretty good. And their stock ain't doing half bad either. So, I kind of been keeping an eye on the stock, but not like 100% or anything. But it looks like the stock is doing okay. It looks like the stock is doing decent. So it might be a stable, worthy investment. But as long as it's paying a decent yield, then I'll keep investing. It'll basically take me 2 years to get my money back. But at the same time, it's like if I'm throwing in $500 a month into both of these. This last month I got like $15 or so from each of them, give or take. I mean, I can go look real quick. Hang on, let's look. I have to put in my password, so I'll have to pause this. Hang on. All right. BITO. So I got about $1,000 in there now. I just bought $570 worth, My last dividend was $17.50 almost. Yeah, I threw in some extra money last month. I threw in the 54, and then I had an extra 91 in the account, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just throw in the extra 91. So I got $10 in dividend the month before, got 17.5 this month. Next month I'll make more. So out of that $570, I only had to pay about $550 of my own money, give or take. So next month I'll have more. So let's see, calculator. 1,000 times 57%. I'll basically make $570 this year just off of that alone. Times 0.8 after tax, 456. And now divide that by 12. So next month I'll make $38. And if the dividend yield is still 57%, I'll still throw in another $570. But $570 minus $38. So I'll have $38 minus 570. So I'll only need to spend $532 of my own money. And then the next month, I'll have about $60, or give or take, What was it, 38? So 60, it'll be closer to $70. So then, that month I'll only have to throw in $500 of my own money. So each month I'll be putting in less of my own money, and I'll be rolling the dividend yield back into the stock. And in that way, each month I have to put less and less and less of my own money. And then at the end of the year, or at the end of 2 years, or however long it takes for me to get the dividend payout to be more than the percentage yield. So like say the percentage yield stays at, around 50%. Once I'm making more than $500 a month off of this stock, then I'll pocket the rest. I'll put the $500 back in, and I'll keep the difference. Then I'm making money. I'm making my money back. And so, yeah, it'll take approximately 2 years for me to get my money back. But after that, it'll be 100% profit. And I'll just be rolling, $500 a month back into it to grow it. And every month it'll just grow, and it'll grow, and it'll grow. And the same with this Chinese one. KLIP. I don't have quite as much in there because I just started putting $500 a month in it too. See, this one's misleading. When you look at this, it says it's only paying 6.06%, when actually it's paying, 56%. But anyway, so you need a separate dividend tracker to keep track of the dividend yield, because it's not always honest over here. But anyways, so I went ahead and threw in, this is when I decided, the beginning of November, this one decided to start throwing a zero on it and investing more into these because they're going to pay me more. Once I get them, the dollar amount that I have in here higher than the credit card, higher than the debt that I have on my credit card, then I'm making more money than I'm spending in credit card debt. So that's basically the game plan. You want to have more money making you money than you have in debt costing you money. So you want more assets than you have liabilities. But yeah, last month, October 31st, Halloween, I made almost $15. So every month that's gonna increase. And so every month I'll have less of my own money that I have to put into the stock. And then I can put that money towards my bills and my debt. And then once I get the credit cards paid down, then the next thing I'm going to be tackling is my pickup truck, which is like a 14% interest. And so at that point, then I'll only be investing in dividend stocks that pay more than 14%. And I'll be growing this. To basically give me more money to help me pay off my debts and to have a better lifestyle. So I'm going to reset my goal. Now that I've reached my goal of $100 a month, I'm going to double that to 200. Now I'm at 51%. So it's so much easier to focus on doubling your goal rather than trying to meet your maximum goal of, like, say, $100,000. Now I'm at zero. I'm not even at 1% of where I want to be. So it's a little more discouraging. But if I just stick to doubling it, it's a little bit more encouraging. And it's so much easier to focus on just doubling what you've done. So once I get to 200, I'll double it again. So I'm always going to be at 50% to my goal or better. And then, so like I said, once I reach $200 a month, then, which, each $100 a month is basically 1 week's paycheck. So if I can get it up to at least 5,200, or 5,300, then that's $1,000 a week right there. So, but I want to do better than that. I want to I'm making now with my job about $1,500 a week. So I'm making about $78,000. Oh. Divided by 12. 6,500. Yeah. So that's my goal. My minimum goal per month. Long term. So I'm 2% of the way there. But once I do that, then I can get a local job and still work while I'm focusing on doubling this again. Because my long-term goal is, to make over $100,000 a year. Because inflation, So, and this is all after tax, though. So right now I'm making this before tax. See, before tax, I'm making $128 a month right now. After tax, I'm making $102. So, right now, before tax, I'm already at 64% of my next goal. But I'm taking out tax. And tax is 20% on investments. Your income tax is a higher tax. Your investment and real estate taxes are lower. They're about 20%. So, yeah. So there you go. All right, I'm at my other property. I need to get back to work. But I just wanted to give you guys an update on how I'm doing, what I'm doing. Oh, let's look at something real quick. So my dividend yield before taxes is 24%. After tax, it's closer to 20. So there you go. Anyway, let's see what my monthly bill is here, or annual. So $1,500 a year before tax. $1,200 after tax. And so this graph here kind of shows you what I'll be making each month. Next month I'll make about $154. Then in January I'll make only about $62. So on and so forth. So, but that'll keep growing. Every time I reinvest money, those numbers will keep growing. So like the December payout will be some annual payouts. April payout will be probably some quarterly and maybe some annually. So will December. So the higher paying months will be some quarterly and annual payouts. The lower paying months will be monthly payouts. So there you go. Dividend growth. You really kind of want to focus on stocks that have a good dividend growth for long-term investing, which I'll be doing some of those later. Right now, just focusing on anything that pays more or higher dividend yield than the interest rate on my debt. OROVY has the best dividend growth out of all my stocks so far. This isn't all of them. It only shows you certain ones for some reason. But here's all the stocks that I do have. Not a lot yet. But like I said, I'm focusing on the higher dividend yielding stocks right now. And then once I get closer to paying down my debt, then I'll be investing in stocks that pay a lower dividend yield. So I've got about $6,000 in there now. My stocks are down $38. No big deal, because I'm making more than that on dividends. And that's why I like dividend stocks. It's like, I'm down $38. No big deal. I'm making that every month almost. Yeah, I'm pretty much making that every month. So I'm really not down. It just looks like I'm down. Meanwhile, I'm making a monthly paycheck. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Can't beat that. So there you go.